All right. Good morning, everybody. Apologies for being a few minutes late. I had a couple more things I need to organize, but we're here now. So hopefully you are seeing or are here with me right now. Just give us a quick yes if you can see me or hear me, and both, and then we'll get started here. So again, apologies for being a couple minutes late. We are going to get started here in just a second. All right, perfect. Let's do it. Cool. All right, let's get started again. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Serge Berger here from thestudytrader.com. This is our Set the Market morning call. We do this Monday through Thursday. We're going to spend the next 10, maybe 15 minutes or so going through the top few things on my notepad. If you could please give us a thumbs up, like, and hit the subscribe button as always. That would be wonderful. It allows us to be able to continue to do this show. And of course, the benefit to you is that you get updated in real time with analysis as we go on. Top few things on my radar. Let's quickly start off with currencies. I've talked about the dollar being potentially oversold in the short term, and that could potentially mean that the price of gold will take a bit of a pause. I have, in full disclosure, gotten rid of 2/3 of my gold position over the past couple of days. I remain in 1/3. It's a long-term position. I've owned it since September 2023, and I think I might keep that one last third on in the long-term portfolios. I also want to talk about, once we've looked at the dollar, I want to look at silver, which is having a lovely day. It's almost up 2% today. I want to look at material stocks, and quite frankly, I think to me the most bullish thing right now, largely because of the chart, is the Bitcoin-related stuff. Bitcoin, Coinbase, Ethereum. So I'd like to go through with you that for those. On those, quick reminder of the dollar. So we created this chart together earlier this week, and this is a very, very long-term chart of the dollar index. And the dollar index essentially is at a pretty critical spot. We can draw a couple of lines. This is a long-term monthly chart. At the bottom, you can see on the x-axis what the years are. And so I would think that this holds a decent amount of water here for a bounce. I don't know beyond that, but I think for now a bounce has a pretty good chance. And that's also why I think if the dollar were to bounce, that could cause certain asset classes to move. Again, my biggest view right now is that gold might pause for a while, maybe mean revert a little bit. I don't know what it means for equities, quite frankly, because equities live in their own world right now. We have a lot of chart chasing machines, algos. It's really, I think, very dangerous, but we have to respect the fact that the algos are in charge. So, that's what I'm watching here in the currency markets. More specifically in commodities land. So this can be now looked at through the lens of an ETF or certainly futures contracts. Silver is making another move today, and I've been talking a lot about silver. I'll just show you here this through the lens of the futures contract or a micro futures contract. Silver up this morning. Now it's up almost 1.9%. This, I think, is delayed by about 15 or 20 minutes, this chart. So silver is attempting to break out above... actually, you know what? I can show you the real chart, the live chart of spot. Sorry. Here. There you go. So this is now silver spot prices. And again, the long-term chart, we've talked about it many, many, many times. If you look at silver through a long-term monthly chart, it's just super, super bullish. And then the more you zoom in on it, the more you kind of realize that the pattern is the same everywhere else. And we have recently been consolidating here in silver for the past month. And it looks like we are attempting another move higher here at some point soon. So that, to me, is still very favorable. Just, again, keep in mind just keep in mind that the silver is a very volatile asset class. One thing that we talked about to members as well is the Silver Junior Miners ETF. This is highly speculative and volatile, but SILJ is the ETF for that. So if we can see that thing break above 1550 or so, I would imagine that would coincide with silver making another move higher as well. Then SILJ, again, this is very speculative. Silver Junior Miners is about as crazy as I can think something being. Silver is now up 2.3% on the day, by the way. It keeps rallying. I'll show you this in a minute. I'm tracking it very closely here on the intraday chart. But this is something I would watch. Obviously, not advice, just educational. But I think there's a good chance here that silver miners, junior miners, will have a move if silver itself starts to break out to the upside again. So, and if that happens, I mean, you can easily see a move that lasts, 10% or so in SILJ once we break, if and when we break above there. So that's what's going on there. Now, speaking of tightly correlating charts, quite frankly, I'm not sure there's anything that's coiling tighter than Bitcoin. If you are a member of our trade ops members areas, I posted a whole bunch of charts in there yesterday. I also want to make it clear, in case you're here for the first time, I'm not some sort of a Bitcoin nut. Like I just think it's a nice asset to watch. I think it makes sense for diversification long term. In the near term, it's just a chart, right? I'm just looking at it as a trading vehicle here in the near term. Long term, there's a different reason for it. But in the short term, I think everyone can see the bullish pattern. If you're new to the markets and you've never seen this kind of thing, basically we call this a consolidation phase, and the logical, the path of least resistance, let me put it that way, would be to the upside, right? So we'll see if this happens. I will tell you, if this happens, if we see a release higher, then through a multi-week lens, the next upside target in Bitcoin would probably be about the depth of this consolidation phase, which would be roughly around 125 to 130 would be kind of the next upside target if we see a breakout. IBIT is an ETF that measured all this, of course. Same idea there, right? It's the same exact chart. There's no mystery there. If you are using the market rover, I will tell you that we have a new buy signal in IBIT as well a couple days ago, and it's bullish trend. So if you're using the market rover, have a look at the market rover and see that we have a bullish trend, and we received a new buy signal a few days ago. And so that's it's all kind of lining up. Same thing for stocks that are Bitcoin wrapped up in a stock ticker. Things like Coinbase. We've talked about Coinbase a lot over the past few weeks. I'm long some Coinbase calls, FYI. And I actually bought some futures of Bitcoin as well yesterday from a purely trading short-term perspective. Long-term, I have some Bitcoin, but that's a whole different time frame. So hopefully this works. That would be nice. Make some money, make some coin. No pun intended. MSTR, of course, MicroStrategy. This too is coiling up. Listen, none of these things have broken out, but if they do, if Bitcoin breaks out, they're all going to break out. It's pretty simple. The correlation is basically 1. Some people like to play with MSTX, which is a 2 times levered ETF on MSTR. People are brave. But there you are. You got another, also a consolidation phase here. So that's a lot of tickers here, folks. But again, it's a correlation of 1 to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin doesn't break higher, none of this stuff's going to break higher. For the most part. There may be some exceptions. So that's what I'm watching. Last thing quickly is material stocks. I'll give you this. We have a very bullish thesis on material stocks. We think they are potentially going to be the new leaders going forward on the upside. And we're starting to see a lot better movement there. Our market rover, which measures trends, is starting to see a improvement in that. In fact, if you look at the past few months, a few quarters actually, You can see material stocks have gone from a bullish trend to a neutral to a bearish trend. And now, just a few days ago, they've gone back up to a neutral trend. Not a bullish trend yet, but we're watching this very closely. So this is something that I would urge, and I mean urge people to watch very closely. I'll give you one stock, just because it's Thursday and might as well. Vulcan Materials is a material stock. It's a Birmingham, Alabama-based company. They basically make cement and all that kind of stuff, so it's very much definitionally a materials company, like literally. That's one that I don't own it yet, but I might be owning it soon here as the day goes on today. So quick recap. So we talked about the dollar. Then we looked at silver, which, by the way, is now up 2.14% on the day. If you're using the Vertical X Pro, which let me get back to that. Then we talked about Bitcoin, Coinbase, MSTR. I showed you guys materials, Vulcan Materials as a stock. So hopefully this is valuable to you folks, and so that we can continue to do this morning call. Quickly want to show you, if you're using the Vertical X Pro indicator, which is our extreme overbought, oversold indicator, this is silver today, okay? And I just want to show you quickly how this indicator works. We have a member session, by the way, for members in about 2 hours. So if you are a member of the Vertical X Pro, you'll be invited to that. If you want to get the indicator in the meantime, go ahead and reach out to our crack staff. Silver has gotten overbought 3 times now today so far already. You can see it there. Then it dropped, 60 basis points there. Then it dropped about 60 basis points, and now it's overbought again. That does not mean it has to fall apart. It's just that we don't want to chase, right? So I buy these things in pullbacks, not when they're overbought like that. A lot of people chase stocks and ETFs and things, and that's why they lose money. But anyway, that's our Vertical X Pro indicator. It's an absolute beauty, and if you have it, you'll be joining us in the members webinar in about 1 hour and 3/4 here this morning. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Again, thank you all for being here. Have a good rest of your week. We don't do this show on Fridays because I need to do research on Fridays all day long. But thanks for being here. Hope it was helpful. And again, please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to do this morning call. And all of you guys that are Trade Ops members, we'll see you over there in about 10 minutes. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon.